The city lights flickered in the dark as the alien girl ran through the crowded streets. Her small feet barely making a sound on the metal floor. She looked behind her and saw shadows moving fast. People with strange gadgets chasing her, but no one stopped. No one cared. Everyone around seemed busy. Talking, walking, ignoring her. Her heart beat fast, and fear ran through her small body. She had never felt so alone in her life. She turned a corner and hid behind a tall crate, her breathing heavy, her glowing eyes scanning the streets. The air smelled of smoke and electricity. The hum of flying vehicles above filled the night sky. She pressed her back against the crate and whispered to herself, "I have to escape. I can't get caught." Suddenly she heard footsteps, louder, closer and different, not like the others. Slower, careful, and deliberate. Her heart jumped and she peeked around the corner, expecting another enemy, but instead a human boy stood there, tall, strong, and calm, his eyes locked onto hers, and for a moment time seemed to stop. She expected him to shout, to attack, but he didn't. He only raised his hand slowly as if saying, "I am not here to hurt you." The alien girl froze. Unsure what to do, she wanted to run, but her legs felt heavy. Her small body trembled as the human stepped closer. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice soft and shaky. He smiled slightly. "I could ask you the same thing, but I think you need help." She stared at him, confused. "Help? No one helps aliens. They only chase or capture us." The human crouched down, keeping his hands visible. "I am different," he said quietly. "I won't hurt you." She hesitated, but the fear and exhaustion made her consider trusting him. Slowly, she stepped out from her hiding spot. Keeping a small distance between them, his eyes watched her carefully, and he didn't make any sudden moves. It felt strange, comforting even. She never felt safe around humans before. Before she could think more, a loud alarm sounded in the city. Red lights flashed on the buildings and loud sirens echoed through the streets. The people who had ignored her before now ran past in panic. But the ones chasing her got closer, their heavy boots banging on the ground. The alien girl panicked, her eyes wide. "They are coming! They will catch me!" The human grabbed her hand, firm but gentle. "Come with me now," he said, and without waiting for her to reply, he pulled her along. They ran together through narrow alleys, jumping over crates and cables, dodging patrol drones that flew overhead with blinking red lights. Her heart raced, but the human moved like he knew every path. Every turn they took seemed to confuse their pursuers, she realized. He was skilled, smarter than anyone she had seen. After several minutes, they reached a small abandoned building, dark and quiet. The human led her inside and closed the door softly. "We are safe here for now," he said, leaning against the wall, catching his breath. The alien girl looked at him with suspicion. "Why are you helping me? You could leave me like everyone else." He shook his head. "I don't leave anyone behind, not if I can help them." For the first time, she felt a strange warmth in her chest. Trust, maybe. She didn't understand it fully, but the feeling scared her and comforted her at the same time. She still didn't know if she could believe him, but she couldn't deny the fact that he saved her life. The human noticed her stare. "You are safe. At least for a little while," he said, "but we need to move before they find us again." The alien girl nodded silently. Still catching her breath, she looked around the small room, shadows dancing on the walls from the broken lights. She wanted to ask his name, but she didn't know if it mattered. Right now, survival was more important. They could hear faint noises outside, the sound of boots, the hum of drones. She hugged herself, feeling the fear creeping back. But the human was there, standing strong, ready to face whatever came next. As the city outside roared with chaos, the alien girl realized something she didn't expect. That human. He was different, and maybe, just maybe, he was the first person to see her as more than just a runaway alien. She didn't understand his intentions yet. But one thing was clear. Her life had just changed forever. The alarms continued to blare outside. Shadows moved in the streets, but inside that abandoned building, a small spark of hope began to grow. The alien girl took a deep breath, ready to trust, just a little, and the human looked at her, a quiet determination in his eyes. Together, they would face the dangers ahead, and nothing would be the same again. The alien girl sat in the corner of the abandoned building, her small body trembling. Her glowing eyes darted to the door every few seconds, listening to the distant hum of patrol drones and the heavy footsteps outside. She didn't trust anyone, not after what she had seen. Not even the human who saved her. The human leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching her carefully. "You need to eat something," he said, holding out a small container filled with food. She stared at it suspiciously. "Why are you helping me? You don't even know me." Her voice was sharp, defensive but tired. He shook his head slowly. "I don't need to know everything about you to know you deserve help." She hesitated, looking at the food, hungry but wary. Her stomach growled, betraying her fear. Slowly, she reached out and took a small bite. The human smiled faintly. "Good. At least you are alive." They sat in silence for a moment. The sounds of the city outside a constant reminder of the danger waiting for them. Finally she spoke, her voice soft. "Who are you? Why did you save me?" The human looked at her, serious. "I could tell you my story, but right now—" "You need to survive," she frowned. Not satisfied, but didn't push further. A sudden noise outside made both of them freeze. The door rattled as someone tried to open it. The alien girl jumped back, but the human stepped forward, placing a hand on the door. "Stay here," he whispered, then he moved quickly, pulling a small device from his pocket. Pressing buttons and the door locked securely. The alien girl stared in shock. How did you do that?" The human shrugged. "I planned for everything," he said simply, walking back to her. "We don't have much time. They will keep coming." She looked at him, noticing something different about him. Something in his eyes, determination, courage, and honesty. She had never seen a human like this before. "Why don't you trust me?" he asked quietly, sitting down a few feet away from her. She hugged her knees, unsure how to answer. Humans hurt aliens. They capture them, sell them, experiment on them. Her voice cracked slightly. I've never met a human who helped me without wanting something." He nodded slowly. "I know, and that's why I understand your fear. But I'm not like them." He leaned closer, but carefully, not invading her space. "You have a choice now. Trust me or stay alone and risk getting caught." She swallowed hard, the weight of the moment pressing on her. The fear and exhaustion mixed with a strange curiosity. Outside, the sounds of the city grew louder. Drones flying closer, shadows moving near the windows. The alien girl felt panic rise, but the human's calm presence steadied her. "We need a plan," he said. "You can't stay here. It's only a matter of time before they break in." She nodded slowly. Realizing he was right, he pulled out a small holographic map, projecting it into the air. The alien girl's eyes widened as she saw the city in detail. The streets, the patrol zones, the glowing towers. "I know a way to get you out," he said quietly. "It's dangerous, but it's the only way." She stared at him, unsure if she could trust the plan. What if it's a trap? She whispered, her voice trembling. He shook his head. "Then we'll adapt, we'll survive. Together." The word "together" echoed in her mind, something she hadn't felt in a long time. She wanted to believe him, but the fear still held her back. Suddenly, a loud crash sounded outside. The building shuddered slightly. The alien girl froze, and the human moved to the door, listening. "They are getting closer," he said calmly. "We need to leave soon." She nodded, swallowing her fear. Her heart raced, but she felt a small spark of trust growing. For the first time, the alien girl realized something unexpected. That human, the one she should fear most, was now her only hope. She looked at him, studying his determined face, and silently she made a small decision. She would trust him. For now, as they prepared to move, the city outside full of chaos and danger, a strange feeling filled the alien girl, something she had never felt before. Safety, or maybe hope. And even though she didn't fully understand it, she knew one thing. Her life had changed again, and this human, the one she had expected to fear, was now her ally. The distant alarms continued to blare. Shadows crept in the streets, but inside that abandoned building, the alien girl and the human prepared for the next step, ready to face whatever danger awaited. Together they would run, fight, and survive. And nothing would ever be the same again. The city never slept, neon lights flickering across the wet streets, casting strange shadows as the alien girl and the human ran. Her small hands gripped his arm tightly, trying to keep up with his long, powerful strides. She could feel her heart pounding, fear mixing with exhaustion. Every turn they took, every alley they darted into seemed like another trap. Above them, patrol drones hovered, their blinking red lights scanning the streets below. The hum of their engines filled the night air, making it hard to think. "Stay close," the human said, glancing back at her. Don't let go or they'll get you. She nodded, barely able to speak, but she trusted him. He was fast, smart, and fearless, everything she was not. They jumped over a fallen crate, the alien girl landing awkwardly on her small feet, but she didn't stop. The human grabbed a cable hanging from a building and swung across a narrow street. Pulling her with him, she screamed at first, but then held on. Her body pressed close to his. The city below blurred into a strange mix of light and shadow. A patrol drone spotted them, its sensors glowing bright red. "They see us," she shouted, panic rising, but the human didn't falter. He dropped down into a narrow alley, pushing a small cart in front of them, which rolled and blocked the drone's sensors for a moment, giving them a few precious seconds. They ran through a crowded market street, humans and aliens alike scattering as they passed. Some shouted, some stared, but no one stopped them. The alien girl's glowing eyes reflected the neon lights as she looked around, amazed and terrified at the same time. The human seemed to know every turn, every shortcut, moving like he had memorized the city. A sudden loud crash behind them made her stumble. She felt a hand grab hers and pull her up just in time. "Don't stop," he said, his voice steady. "Keep running." They leaped over a low wall, landing in a deserted courtyard. Shadows moved around the edges, but they had no time to hide. The alien girl's lungs burned, but adrenaline pushed her forward. They came to a high street with moving platforms and floating vehicles above. "We can take the sky route," he said. Pointing to a small hovercraft docked on the rooftop, her eyes widened. "We can fly?" He nodded. "If we want to escape, we must." She followed him up a narrow fire escape, the city sprawling below them like a dangerous maze. As they reached the roof, the alien girl saw the drones closing in, their engines buzzing louder than ever. "We have to hurry," the human shouted, starting the hovercraft with a quick sequence of buttons. The alien girl climbed in beside him, gripping the edge tightly, her heart racing. She had never flown like this before, the wind whipping her hair. The city lights blurring past, the drones followed, their sensors locking onto the small craft. The human twisted the controls, dodging obstacles, jumping over taller buildings, weaving between towers. His skill amazed her. He moved like he was part of the city, one with its chaos, while she had only ever run from it. Suddenly, a larger patrol drone appeared, armed and aggressive, its lasers aimed straight at them. "Hold on," he shouted, pulling a lever, sending a pulse of energy that temporarily disabled the drone. The alien girl gasped, fear and awe mixing inside her. She had never seen anything like this before, and she began to realize just how capable he was. After several tense minutes, the city below started to fade into darkness as they moved to the outskirts, but danger was never far. She could still hear the faint hum of drones following them. The human glanced at her. "We are not safe yet, but we are closer than before." She nodded, her trust in him growing. She was beginning to believe that he was the only one who could truly protect her. As they landed on a quiet rooftop outside the main city, she finally allowed herself a small sigh of relief. "We made it, for now," he said, his eyes scanning the horizon. "But they will keep coming." She looked at him, awe in her glowing eyes. You are amazing," she whispered, and he only smiled faintly. Not proud, just determined. For the first time, the alien girl felt a strange emotion, hope, and maybe something more. Curiosity and trust mingled together. She realized that running alone was over. That human who had appeared like a stranger was now her guide, her protector, and possibly the only friend she could count on in a world that wanted to destroy her. As the sun began to rise, painting the city in shades of red and gold, the alien girl and the human prepared for the next step. The chase was not over, but together they might just survive. And as the wind whispered across the rooftops, she knew one thing for sure. Her life had changed forever. The alien girl and the human crouched on the quiet rooftop, the city below still alive with flashing lights and distant sirens. For the first time since she had run, the alien girl felt a moment of calm, but her mind raced with questions, fear, and curiosity. She finally dared to look at him, really look, and noticed the strange scar across his hand. "A mark of past battles. Why did you save me?" she asked quietly, her voice trembling not from fear, but from the weight of trust. The human leaned against a small crate, his eyes scanning the city before turning to meet hers. "Because someone had to," he said simply. But she could tell he meant more than that. She frowned. "That's not an answer," she whispered, trying to hide the hope in her voice. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "All right. I'll tell you a little," he said. I know why they are chasing you, I know what they want, and I know what you can do. Her glowing eyes widened. What do you mean? I don't understand. She had never shared her secret with anyone, never trusted anyone with the truth of her powers, and now she felt fear rise again. You have abilities. Abilities they fear, he said, his voice low, serious. They want to use you, or worse, control you. She hugged herself tightly, the memory of past captures and experiments flashing in her mind. No, they can't have me. I ran for a reason, she whispered, almost to herself. The human nodded, understanding her fear. I know, and that's why I am helping you. She looked at him, skeptical. But why? Why not just leave me? You don't owe me anything. His eyes softened. Because sometimes, doing the right thing doesn't need a reason. The alien girl blinked, not sure if she had ever heard such words before. They felt strange and real, and for the first time, she wondered if humans could be good. A sudden sound interrupted her thoughts, a soft hum from the city below. The patrol drones were still out there, searching, watching, tracking. The human held up a hand. We need to move before they find us again. She nodded, swallowing her fear, but this time a little differently. She wasn't just running blindly. She had someone by her side, someone who understood, someone who believed in her. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device, projecting a holographic map into the air. The alien girl gasped softly as she saw the paths. The security zones, the patrol routes. You know this city? She asked, astonished. I know enough to keep us alive, he said quietly. But we need a plan. We can't keep running forever. She studied the map, her mind racing. I can help too, she said hesitantly. I know the streets, the alleys. The shortcuts. The human smiled faintly. Good. Then we work together. That small smile gave her hope. She realized that for the first time, she wasn't completely alone. Suddenly, the human looked at her seriously. There's something else you should know. Someone you trust might not be who they seem. The alien girl's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? He shook his head slowly. I don't know yet, but be careful. Watch everyone. Her stomach twisted with fear, but she nodded, determined not to show it. As the sun began to rise, painting the city in shades of gold and orange, the alien girl felt a mix of fear and courage. She knew the truth about her powers could be dangerous, but with him by her side, maybe she had a chance. I don't know if I can trust anyone, she admitted softly, but I trust you. A little. The human nodded. That's enough for now. Trust grows with time. They prepared to leave the rooftop, moving silently across the edges, shadows hiding them from prying eyes. The alien girl felt a strange thrill, part fear, part hope. She had always run alone, always feared capture, but now she had someone who could protect her, someone who might even be a friend. As they descended into the streets below, the city still alive with danger and chaos, the alien girl realized that life was changing again. The human beside her, steady and calm, held her hand for just a moment. A simple gesture that meant more than words. She drew a deep breath, ready to face the unknown. The alarms in the city blared faintly, patrol drones hummed in the distance, and shadows moved through the streets. But inside, the alien girl felt a spark of hope, a small flame that wouldn't go out. She wasn't running alone anymore, and maybe, just maybe, she could survive. And live together, they stepped into the dark streets, ready for the next challenge, ready for secrets to be uncovered, and ready to face the dangers that lay ahead. The chase was far from over, but the bond between them had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The streets were empty, but the alien girl could feel eyes watching them, shadows shifting in every corner. Every sound echoed in the dark alleys, and her heart beat faster with every step. She held the human's hand tightly, unsure if the next moment would bring safety or disaster. We need to cross the central district, he whispered, his eyes scanning the rooftops. It's heavily patrolled, but I know a way. The alien girl nodded, trusting him, yet a tiny part of her wondered if he had hidden motives. She had learned to fear humans, to expect betrayal, and now, even the one who saved her felt mysterious. They moved quickly, ducking behind crates and jumping over pipes, the hum of distant patrol drones growing louder. She tried to stay silent, but her glowing eyes betrayed her presence. Casting faint light in the dark, the human noticed, lowering his hand slightly. Focus, don't panic, he whispered, and she obeyed, swallowing her fear. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed nearby and a figure appeared from the shadows. Blocking their path, the alien girl froze, her eyes wide. Expecting the worst, the human stepped forward. His body tense. "Who are you?" he demanded, but the figure didn't answer. Only stepped closer, its face hidden in darkness. Her heart skipped a beat. "Is he one of them?" she whispered, fear gripping her. The human didn't respond immediately, instead stepping protectively in front of her. The figure laughed softly, low and chilling. "So, this is the little runaway everyone talks about?" it said, stepping closer, revealing a dark, uniformed officer, armed and dangerous. The alien girl's mind raced. He betrayed us, she thought, panic rising. She looked at the human, expecting anger, fear, or betrayal, but he only stood firm, his eyes locked on the officer, calm but alert. "No," he said quietly. "I will not let him take you." The alien girl blinked, confused, her trust warring with fear. The officer raised his weapon, aiming at them. "Hand her over, human, or face the consequences." The human's eyes narrowed. "You will not get her," he said, and in a flash, he pulled a small device from his pocket, sending a pulse that disabled the officer's weapon temporarily. The alien girl gasped, fear and awe mixing inside her. The officer snarled, stepping back, trying to recover, but the human moved quickly, kicking the weapon out of reach and grabbing her hand. "Run," he shouted, pulling her through a narrow passage. They darted through alleys, leaping over crates, dodging patrol drones and security traps. Her legs burned, but adrenaline pushed her forward. They reached a high wall, a metal ladder leading to a rooftop above. "Climb!" he shouted, and she scrambled up, her small hands gripping the rungs tightly. The human followed, his movements swift and precise. Landing beside her safely, she looked at him, amazed at his skill. You could have left me," she whispered. Voice trembling, he shook his head. "I told you. I don't leave anyone behind," his calm confidence reassured her. And a small spark of trust grew. She realized that even in the face of danger, he was different. He didn't hesitate, didn't lie, didn't betray her. He protected her fully and completely from the rooftop. They watched the city below, shadows moving, drones scanning, and the officer shouting orders. She hugged herself, still trembling, but she no longer felt alone. The human stood beside her, calm and ready, watching the streets for any sign of danger. His presence made her feel safe, and maybe for the first time, she could hope. "Who was that?" she asked quietly, her voice shaky. "An enemy," he said simply. "But not everyone is as dangerous as they seem. Sometimes danger tests us to see how strong we are." She looked at him, the words strange but comforting. Something inside her shifted, trust growing despite the fear. "Do you really think we can survive?" she asked softly, looking at the distant lights of the city. He smiled faintly. "We have to. Together," she nodded. Drawing courage from his words, her fear remained, but she felt stronger with him by her side. As the sun began to rise, casting pale light over the rooftops, the alien girl realized that betrayal was not always what it seemed, that sometimes, even in moments of danger, true allies reveal themselves, and the human beside her who had risked everything had shown her that survival, trust, and hope could exist, even in a world that wanted to destroy her. With the city stretching endlessly below, shadows still creeping and alarms faint in the distance, they prepared to move again, ready to face whatever challenges awaited. The chase was far from over, but their bond had grown stronger, and the alien girl knew one thing: she was not alone anymore, and no betrayal could change that. The alien girl and the human crouched in a dark corner of the city, the early morning fog curling around the streets. The distant hum of drones and the occasional siren reminded them that danger was never far. She shivered slightly, not from cold, but from fear and anticipation. She had survived so much already, but this next step felt different. "We can't keep running blindly," the human said quietly, pulling out a small holographic device. Projecting a glowing map into the air, she leaned closer, her glowing eyes reflecting the light. "This is our plan," he continued. "We need to cross the industrial zone, then reach the transport hub on the east side. From there we can escape the city, but it will not be easy." Her stomach twisted with fear. "The industrial zone? That place is full of guards and traps," she whispered, remembering the stories she had heard. The human nodded. "Yes, but it's the fastest route." And I know shortcuts you won't see on the map. She swallowed hard, her trust in him growing, even as fear clawed at her chest. He reached into his pocket and handed her a small device. This will help you hide your signal from drones, he explained. Hold it close to your body and stay quiet. She took it hesitantly, feeling the warmth of the device, and a strange sense of hope. They had a plan, and hope was something she hadn't felt in a long time. As they moved through the empty streets, the city around them seemed alive with danger. Shadows shifted in alleys, faint alarms echoed from buildings, and every turn felt like a trap. Stay close, the human whispered, his hand gripping hers tightly. She followed silently, trusting his movements, following his lead through the dangerous cityscape. They reached the edge of the industrial zone, a place full of metal pipes, loud machinery, and blinking security lights. The human signaled her to stay low as they slipped past a patrolling guard. The alien girl held her breath, her heart pounding, but he moved with confidence, guiding her carefully through the maze of pipes and crates. Suddenly, a loud clang echoed through the zone, a metal sheet falling from above. The guard turned immediately, searching for the noise. Move, the human whispered, grabbing her hand and pulling her behind a large container. She stumbled slightly, but he caught her, steadying her. You're okay, he said quietly, and she nodded, feeling a small surge of trust. They continued through the industrial zone, using every shadow, every corner to hide from patrols. The alien girl noticed how skillful he was, moving like he had done this many times before. Her fear began to mix with admiration, and she felt a strange connection growing between them. They were partners now, and every step forward was a small victory. Finally, they reached the transport hub, a massive building with glowing lights and moving platforms. Drones patrolled the sky above, but the human had a plan. We wait for the right moment, he whispered, pointing to a small maintenance ladder leading to a hidden platform. She followed silently, her body tense with anticipation. Every sound made her jump, but he stayed calm, guiding her. As they climbed the ladder, she looked at him. Why are you helping me so much? She asked softly, her voice barely a whisper. He paused, looking at her. Because no one should be hunted just for being who they are, he said quietly. And because I won't leave you alone. The alien girl felt her chest tighten, a mix of fear, gratitude, and something she didn't understand. They reached the hidden platform and paused, catching their breath. Below them, the city stretched endlessly, danger everywhere. But she felt a strange sense of hope, because for the first time she wasn't running alone. The human beside her had a plan, and he had proven time and again that he would protect her. Ready? He asked, his eyes serious, focused. She nodded, gripping her device tightly. Ready? Together, they climbed into a small hovercraft hidden on the platform, its engines humming quietly. She held on as he started the controls, her heart pounding in rhythm with the engine. As the city lights blurred beneath them, and the hum of patrol drones grew distant, she realized something. She had trusted him fully now, and he had never let her down. No matter the danger, no matter the fear, he had a plan, and he would see it through. They soared into the early morning sky, leaving the industrial zone behind, shadows shrinking below them. The alien girl looked at the human beside her, her eyes wide with awe. We might really escape, she whispered, and he only smiled faintly, focused on the path ahead. For the first time in a long time, she felt hope, real hope. The city below was dangerous, the world outside even more so, but together, they might survive, and maybe, just maybe, she could live freely. The hovercraft hummed softly as it glided above the city, the early morning sun casting pale light across the buildings. The alien girl gripped the edge tightly, her glowing eyes scanning the streets below. Every shadow, every movement made her heart race. She had survived so much already, but now, the final challenge awaited. The human beside her checked the controls, calm and focused. We are close, he said quietly, his voice steady. The extraction point is just ahead. But it won't be simple, the alien girl nodded, her small hands trembling slightly. She trusted him completely now, but fear still ran through her veins. The danger had never left. It had only grown stronger. Below them, a massive patrol fleet moved toward the city's edge, their sensors glowing red. They had tracked them this far, and now the final confrontation was near. Hold on, the human said, eyes narrowing. We have to make it through without being seen, or they will catch us. She swallowed hard, feeling the tension building. Every second counted. Every mistake could be the last. As they descended toward a narrow canyon, the hovercraft weaving between metal towers and moving cranes, the alien girl noticed something. A massive drone larger than any they had seen before hovered ahead, its lasers scanning the sky. Her stomach twisted with fear. "What is that?" she whispered, her voice shaking. The human's jaw tightened. "The final guard. The last obstacle," he said. "We have no choice but to get past it." He maneuvered the hovercraft with precision, dodging beams of light and jumping over massive towers. The alien girl held her breath, her body pressed close to him, heart pounding, fear clawing at her, yet, at the same time, a strange confidence grew inside her. She had trusted him this far, and he had never failed. Why would he fail now? Suddenly the massive drone fired a warning shot, the ground below erupting in sparks and smoke. The hovercraft tilted dangerously, and she screamed. "Careful!" she shouted, but he didn't answer, his focus total, guiding the craft through the chaos. The alien girl clung to him, her trust absolute. Knowing he would not let them fall, they shot through the canyon, narrowly missing a laser blast that seared the wall beside them. Sparks flew, the heat close enough to singe her hair. Her heart raced, fear mixed with adrenaline. She realized now that her life had depended on this human completely, and she didn't want to think what would happen if he failed. Finally, they reached a narrow platform at the extraction point, the hovercraft landing with a jolt. The human leapt out first, holding a hand for her. She looked down at the patrol drones surrounding them, their red lights blinking like deadly eyes. "We have to move fast," he said. "You have to choose. Go alone or trust me completely." Her mind spun, fear and hope colliding. "Alone?" she whispered, almost not believing it. I can't." She felt the weight of the moment pressing down. The fear of capture, the fear of losing him. Her heart told her one thing, her instincts another. But then she saw his hand, steady, ready to protect her no matter what. And she made her choice. "I trust you," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "I go with you." The human nodded, a faint smile crossing his face. "Good," he said quietly. "Hold on tight." Together, they dashed across the platform, dodging the drone's lasers, diving behind crates, moving as one. Every second was tense, every movement crucial. A final laser shot exploded near them, throwing sparks into the air. The alien girl stumbled, but he caught her, pulling her up. "Don't let go," he shouted, and she held on, clinging with all her strength. The patrol drones faltered for a moment, giving them a narrow path, and they ran, hearts pounding, legs aching, toward the escape craft waiting at the edge. The human lifted her into the craft first, then climbed in himself. The engines roared to life, and they shot upward into the sky, leaving the city, the patrols, and the danger behind. She looked at him, glowing eyes wide. We made it," she whispered, disbelief and relief mixing in her voice. He nodded, his eyes calm but tired. "Yes, we did, because we trusted each other." She felt a warmth in her chest, something she had never felt before. Gratitude, hope, and maybe friendship or something more. Her life had been full of fear, running, and loneliness, but now she had someone who would stand by her, no matter what. As the city shrank beneath them, chaos still raging below, the alien girl realized that her journey had changed her. She had faced danger, betrayal, and fear, but she had also found trust, courage, and an ally in the human beside her. Together they had escaped, and for the first time she felt free. The hovercraft rose into the glowing horizon, the sun painting the sky in gold and orange. The alien girl held her hand tightly around the device that had hidden her. But more importantly, she held hope close to her heart. With him by her side, the impossible seemed possible, and the future, uncertain and dangerous, felt like something she could face. She looked at him and he smiled faintly. "We did it," he said, and she nodded, her glowing eyes reflecting the morning light. Together they flew into the unknown, leaving fear behind, ready for whatever came next.